Great, hello, welcome to this video. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness, the highest levels of love, light, benevolence for all, sovereignty. I'm just going to go into a little inflow message, maybe some light language, and kind of see what wants to come through. I have a lot of things to do on an energy update as well. I have several videos I've done and I just can't figure out how to edit them. So we'll try to keep this one nice and simple. I'm just starting with some breathing to kind of get nice and centered. I do a little toning and see as this toning comes through, it's meant to kind of assist in frequency expansion. It's meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear level. Tuk-ur. Tuk-ur. Ke wawana tea. O no kukua ya mokua he na wa te tine amokua mo we ste ne ki ana te anu kua wana. Tua wawa ha uno ko e te niki iu e stu no au kua wawa he te u kua wawa ane ti amo e au kua wawa ana. Wawa te amo wa uku wawa we te ina uku no to he ste mo e te ana. Ke amo he te ne ki na e te ste wa hana ki na uku wa ane ti ste ana. The principles have shifted. The founding principles and layers upon which society has been built upon have lifted for those that have been keeping us in a place, a pocket, if you will, holding us in a pocket of, I'm hearing the word inquiry. I'm also seeing like a quarry, like our resources have been quarried in this pocket and it's like that can no longer hold. And I'm seeing like these pockets underground of when the resources are taken too much and then they collapse. And that is exactly what is happening here. For as the resources have been overexposed, overused, I'm hearing red rover, send so-and-so right over. I'm hearing like they've been exploited, in other words. This can no longer stand. For as we, I'm hearing get out of consumption, get out of consumerism, as we recognize that what we are consuming is consuming us. We are being guided to come back into atonement, to come back into attunement, to come back into at-one-ment with Mother Nature, with Mother Earth, with all that we are as one. For we are no longer looking at individualistic society. For as we focus on ourselves, I'm seeing this as a play on words. So, it's focusing on the higher aspect and focusing on ourself as in what makes us a better person versus the consumerism aspect of what we want, need, want. There's two different variations. It's a very subtlety, subtle reality difference and shift. And we must recognize and be able to attune ourselves with the frequencies that are seeking to distract us, to pull us into disorganization, like I'm seeing basically a self-service, a service to self frequency. For we are no longer bound to these certain susceptibilities. We are no longer susceptible to these certain boundaries. Yet we are constantly, continuously, I'm hearing constitutionally, lots of plays on words here. Choosing in every moment of how we perceive, how we behave, how we react, where we are coming from, and this is multi-layered. So how do we feel? Where, like making that comment, I'm coming from, where is our background? Where are we really coming from? Stepping outside of this woodwork is what I'm hearing. What would have worked in a previous society or constituents, like all these ingredients, no longer works. Therefore, we are being invited to recognize the disharmony, the discord that is showing up and peeking through our societal engagements. For these are no longer engaging the higher collective, the higher knowing, the higher frequencies, the higher ground. For that is where we are going. That is what we are headed into. Should we seek to unbound ourselves from this binding chemical we are much more than what we have been told, what we have been taught. And the tales that have been told were to keep us taught. So this is a play on words, like teacher, student. Only the teachers, only the students forever. Guru, follower. But also taught, like tied, tight. On a tight leash. For were we to unleash, for were we to unbind the DNA spectrum, to recognize that we are coming into full spectrum alignment, were we really to analyze the higher analyses, were we to cease and desist that which has been keeping us in an equation. I'm hearing an equator. I'm hearing equating to. So many plays on words here. An equation that was not bringing us forward. For as you step into the boundless principles that you truly are, the principalities of existence, recognizing that you are these principles, these entities, and this is a recognition of corporations, legal entities, beings that essentially utilize energy to attach to us, anything that we've given enough power to that has become an entity, essentially. Wish to capitalize, so to speak, on the gains, on the gaining of our knowledge. So this is a big play on words. What I'm seeing is that we've gained knowledge, yet if we feed back into this old system of believing that we don't have the right to know this knowledge, or this knowledge is forbidden because we really, it's like it's an energy of worthiness. We have to feel worthy in order to recognize that we are worthy. And if we keep saying, we're not worthy, we need someone to lead us, and that we give our power over to these particular, again, entities, then they capitalize off of our unworthiness. We continue to feed back into that system. This system also has to do with lack. I'm seeing like slackers, like it makes us lazy. It makes us cooperative. But who are we cooperating with? What are we cooperating into? And that which we see into, unless we have eyes to see, is also inverted quite frequently. So this is a play on words also. Like there's a lot of frequencies that are showing up in our reality structure that are inverted versions of the truth. So it's like this game that sometimes we have to recognize that is being played in front of us. Don't allow ourselves to get played. Quit allowing ourselves to believe in something that is not the truth. It is only a facade. So that's another play on words. Like I'm seeing a face that is being projected at us, a facade, to aid us into, to aid us into something thinking something that is feeding into a reality construct that is literally not even real. It's like it's already collapsed, but they're trying to milk it as long as they can, these particular entities. Also the facade I'm seeing is a reference to the sod that you put down in the grass of the earth. Like some of this sod that's been put down on top of other layers so that it'll grow over it to hide it is actually something that we're in the process of facing right now. So it's being dug up and we're seeing, oh, this is what's been covered up the whole time. It isn't necessarily okay, so let me just get back into, so I'm seeing so many pictures, sometimes it's hard to linearize it. And as we take action based on what we are seeing, we are being invited to not be in reaction. Step out of the triggers. Step out of the trigger finger. Step out of the finger that points the trigger. Step out of those that are telling you must react. For that is a false system. That is a separation cue. That is an idea that we are separated into something that is not who and what we choose to really be. This is a play on words, like if you look at a cue ball, and this is not necessarily a reference to, sorry guys, I had to switch angles because I always run out of battery. I think I need a new recording phone. Let me pause just for a second. Okay. So I was being guided to talk a little bit about that. That's a play on words. I know for some of those truthers out there, this cue, they're showing me an 8-ball, a cue ball. It's not necessarily a reference having to do with the other cue that a lot of people are talking about right now. Although I am being guided to share that part of this is about recognizing these this information that's coming through from, the news and the media, and to recognize what's being fed to us, whether it be from the good guys that we perceive are good and the bad guys that we perceive as negative. Recognize that sometimes it's flip-flopped, sometimes it's inverted. And we get these cues and these clues, and we're being gifted this as a way to recognize when something's coming in and there's a lot about this. So I'm being guided just to remind everybody not to be so literal. A lot of this is a play on words. And so when you guys are watching the news, like even, and I'll use that Q as an example, everything that they share is code. It's not necessarily, I don't know, I haven't really read into it. I've only read like one thing from them, but I recognize that a lot of it is code. A lot of people, including Hollywood, and I'm going lower density right now, just to kind of dip into some of the things that are being exposed, are code. It's a way, like, we can feel into what's being said. And they're showing that we're getting a lot of clues right now by what people are saying in their words, and we're being guided to feel behind the words, behind it. Those are the cues, those are the clues, those are what's going on. It's almost like playing a little game of spy. Like, I spy with my eye that this isn't 100% right. And go with your gut and go with your heart. So that was a big, kind of a big piece of information that's coming from that. Okay. I'm trying to turn this. If I can just get comfortable here. Okay. Got my little bubbies down here joining us. Whew. The energies that are coming in, that are sifting through, are allowing us to sift through, are allowing us to shape our new reality structure and construct from that which is being sifted out. And be aware, we invite you to be aware that much is being sifted out, lifted out, if you will. So that what is allowed, this is a play on words, allowed, heard, allowed, almost like created, is in more attunement and alignment with the song that is, I'm just seeing this beautiful, like a beautiful reality structure that is being like tapped into. So it's like this songbird, right? It's like this, it's hard to even describe. So we allow you to settle into your landscape. What would you like to create? What would you like to see? Sorry, you guys, my phone keeps kind of wigging out a little bit. I can't tell you how many videos I've done and then it just stops and I have to start all over again. So I'm trying to get this to kind of hopefully not wig out. So I'll try to end this quickly. What we wish to convey to you is this concept of stepping off of the conveyor line, the assembly line, so to speak, allowing your inner light to flood through and to allow the components of your new creative expression to allow you to then move forward in your new direction, not allowing others to direct and dictate to you which direction it is that you need to follow. Rather, following your own flow, your own light of independence, for Independence Day is coming. There is much to be packed into this information. And we invite you to step up and to recognize that you are coming into a new age of awareness, expansion, expression. And the more you formulate this as a society together, stepping away from the old patterns of hostility, The old patterns of neglect of your body, neglect of your neighbor, neglect of people within your family that perhaps are longing for company. As we allow ourselves to be the companions with ourselves, to open and expand into this concept that as human beings, we came here to connect with one another. The disconnect and discord that has been created in accordance with old democracies that were, I'm hearing like, again, this demo, it's a demo, it's like a test. I'm hearing democracy, like there's cracks in it, and we're creating a new one. If we recognize that we the people are here to create that. It's not about falling into this old categorization of belittling one another. I'm hearing be-leveling, like get out of this concept. It doesn't have to be played this way anymore. And if we do play this game, we're the ones that are choosing to do that. Nobody is telling us we have to play this. There's loopholes that we're actually beginning to realize that were never expressed before in this old system. And that's kind of what's showing up for us. So this is many different layers, guys. I'm gonna kind of end in the next couple minutes and see what else we wanna share. It's me, guys. It's not we. It's my higher self that I'm just kind of connecting into to kind of just be in that space of open expansion, just to kind of let it flow. And everybody, when you're in a space of creative expression and expansion from your heart, that's what you're doing. We're just tapping into just a higher frequency of being coherent and be in a coherent space. And if we play with that word a bit, coherence, as we play with our reference of what we are hearing as what we are and what we are co-creating, we recognize that our heart knows no boundaries, yet we must establish in a linearization of society certain boundaries that then show others, this is not what I will stand for any longer. I do not stand in a place of loneliness. I will not stand for isolation. I will not stand for this control and dictatorship. I'm hearing like dictatorization, like when you dictate something, but also like when you take dictation, like someone is telling you what to say, what to write, what to feel, how to feel, what we are allowed to express ourselves about. Yet we must also step up to the plate in a new maturity. For as we allow ourselves to be the adult and also express the inner child, this came through the other day too, by the way, when I shared this. I haven't posted this video yet. As we allow ourselves to step up to the plate and refuse to play the old game, as we allow ourselves to swing from one concept of where we need to be in location, in fabrication, in creation, and we step up and say no more. That is a plan where it's like no, the biggest knowing of more. And we come to a stabilization in our frequencies, a coherence. We are then capable of taking the breath, the inhale, the exhale of expression. And in that space, in that longitudinal wave vocabulary, we then speak with love, we speak with grace, we operate and activate and create activism with grace, rather than a spark of, I'm hearing fire, fight fire with fire. It's about tuning all of that out and coming into attunement with the harmonics behind this polarized activity that is only meant to distract from the sound behind the sound. I'm hearing that this is noise. All of the stuff we're seeing on television, all of the stuff that we're being told to react to, all of the things that are being shared, all of the, even what's going on with us it's all a distraction. Get back into here. And then we will hear the Om behind the frenzy. And we will hear the tone of our ancestors singing through our blood. We will recognize that which our ancestors, who perhaps were mistaken, are now trying to correct from one perspective. We will hear what we came here to correct, what we came here to clear, what we came here to create is being cleared, is being corrected, is being sung. For we are the song lines of the full spectrum presentation of creation. So if that is the truth, and we are the truth, allow us to operate from truth. Step out of discordian belief systems, for these are mismatched with our frequency that we are attempting to bring to the table. A new match as we turn the tables. Play on words, like we're striking a match, we're burning up that which doesn't serve us any longer from a higher perspective. We're saying, all right, match. Cancel all that out, let's start fresh. And if we plug into these old systems, these old loops, then we are creating a match to those old loops. Step out of the sandbox, play in the bigger scope of things. And this allows us to go down periscope. It allows us to zoom out and to zoom within, for that is where this begins. And so it begins. And so it is. Okay. In love and light, thank you so much for tuning in. Until the next video, namaste.